Good evening, everybody. For this particular meeting and hopefully in the future, we've made changes to our technology to allow the public to our meeting and make public comment. We ask for your patience as we navigate this new system. All presenters should remain muted with their video off until it's time to make your presentation. We welcome the public. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for your interest in our wonderful meetings. Instructions on making public comment is on the first item on the agenda. Please make sure that you know how to get in. The regular meeting of the Napa Valley College Board of Trustees is in order at approximately 4:35 in the afternoon on this November 12th, 2020. Catherine, can you please do roll call?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, Trustee Baker.
Here.
Trustee Dodd.
Here.
Trustee Goff.
Here.
Trustee Iverson.
Here.
Trustee Rios.
Here.
Student Trustee Shull.
Here.
And we are waiting for Trustee Baldini. He's working with his technology. Okay, he tells me he's here. And Trustee Segura.
Here.
Thank you.
And now we go to the Pledge of Allegiance. Student Trustee Shull, would you please do us the honors?
Absolutely. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America,
to the public, which it stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. And we go to 2.3, adoption of the agenda. Does anybody want to pull an item or any questions? Trustee Iverson, you were going to say something?
Move for approval.
Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Thank you very much. Moved by Trustee Iverson, second by Trustee Baldini. All in favor? Or if we don't have anybody, thank you. If we don't have anybody pulling any items on the agenda, then we're going on the assumption that the agenda is adopted. So it's adopted by consensus. And we move on to number 3, public comment on closed session. At this time, the board will devote a total of up to 15 minutes to hear comments regarding closed session items. Individual comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Is there any public comment on closed session? There being none, we are going to move on to closed session. On our agenda is 4.2, conference with labor negotiators. 4.3, conference with real property negotiators. 4.4, public employee evaluation. So we shall see you in 45 minutes, hopefully soon, maybe not later. So we go on to closed session. Thank you all. Everyone, members of the public, cabinet, we are back in public session. We have nothing to report from closed session. Good discussion, but nothing to report. We're going to 6.1 on the agenda. This public comment opportunity is governed by the State of California Brown Act. By definition, this is an opportunity to hear concerns, perspectives, and differing vantage points. The board is not able under the Brown Act to engage in any level of conversation or discussion, but we look forward to this opportunity to gather community input. At this time, the Board of Trustees will devote up to 15 minutes to review comment to the Board of Trustees regarding any subject not appearing on any agenda, as an agenda item for this meeting, but over which the board has jurisdiction. The public may request that the board place an item related to the business of the district on future board agenda. No action or discussion will occur at this time. Each comment shall be no longer than 3 minutes. Is there any public comment? Catherine, do we have any public comment?
Oh, I am so sorry. No, I do not see any hands raised.
Okay, thank you very much.
Did we receive any emails or anything like that in terms of writing public comment, Catherine?
Not for general public comment. We received one email for the housing item.
Thank you.
So we go to 7.1, item number 7 on the agenda, and that's reports, cabinet reports. 7.1, Academic Senate report. Dr. Tejada.
Hello, I am here reading for Dr. Tejada tonight. She sent me her report earlier today, and I will go ahead and read starting now. Good evening, board members, President Kraft, administrators, and colleagues. I apologize for not being able to attend this meeting tonight. My colleague and friend Christy has graciously accepted to give my report tonight. I appreciate and respect her work and advocacy on behalf of Napa Valley College faculty and students. The Academic Senate Instructional Design Institute, the ASIDI, has completed this week its first culturally responsive pedagogy workshop. The ASIDI staff will collect data and assess this session and the operations in the coming weeks. This completes phase 2 of the Academic Senate Instructional Design Institute. I anticipate running 2 more sessions in the spring and assessing the ASIDI as a whole and the infrastructure that will best support this entity as we move into phase 3. This past week, I attended the ASCCC Fall Plenary Session. I discovered that our NVC ASIDI leads the state as an effective model, focusing on pedagogy training. I believe this kind of success demonstrates the possibilities when we support innovation and model a certain learning-centered approach. This success affirms the importance of collaboration. I wish to appreciate and acknowledge Dr. Kraft's support of the NVC ASIDI. Dr. James McGowan, NVC AS First VP, Mrs. Elizabeth Rivera, the AS Admin Assistant, and myself attended the ASCCC Fall Plenary Session. From the workshops and resolutions emerged 3 themes. A, equity mindedness. The workshops focused on eliminating anti-Blackness from our institutional structures, curricula, and pedagogy. Introducing equity-mindedness into a curricula. This affirms my belief that the curricula of Napa Valley College should be the autobiography of the faculty. And since in theory and hopefully in practice in the coming future, the faculty reflect the students we serve, the curricula will be the student's autobiography as well. On this front, NVC has a bit of work to do. B, infusing equity-mindedness in budget allocation and integrated program review, planning, and budget process. C, academic freedom. The ASCCC approved a paper on academic freedom. In it, there is a distinction between academic freedom and freedom of speech. In light of the issues and current climate of our country, the NVC Academic Senate will study this issue, review the current board policies and administrative procedures associated with academic freedom. We plan to create a resolution that addresses this important issue. The Policy Revision Task Force for Credit for Prior Learning presented the board policy and administrative procedures for credit for prior learning to the Academic Senate for initial approval. Both the board policy and the administrative procedure are in the transmittal process as we speak. We are on schedule to meet the legislative deadline of December 2020. I wish to acknowledge the work of the task force and Dr. Sarah Parker, who understood the amount of time and the urgency involved. Thank you, Dr. Parker, for providing the resources that allowed for the task force to do its work. I wish to share a concern about how unreliable access to our email has become. More than ever, email is a vital tool to ensure we have access to our students. It is also a vital tool to work with our colleagues at Napa Valley College and our colleagues throughout the state. It allows us to remain connected and in communication. The system breakdown added to our workload and stress. I am still dealing with the consequences of this breakdown. I respectfully urge the BOT to seek measures that address the issues that continue to prevent our network from working properly and reliably. Lastly, the Academic Senate has approved the faculty co-leads for in preparation for our accreditation visit. I do wish to express concern and disappointment that the district has chosen to deny reassigned time to these faculty. As Academic Senate President, I am concerned with the lack of understanding of faculty workload. The Napa Valley College faculty have continued to give of their time and efforts to ensure students achieve their educational goals. Teaching online requires much more time in preparation and grading. It exceeds the expectations assumed in our contract. In addition, faculty have continued to engage in committee work, ensuring that timelines and tasks are met. We continue to fulfill our contractual obligation, and I believe we are going beyond our contractual obligations to ensure our students' needs are met, and we're doing this with the constant stressors that COVID-19 continues to create. From a communication I received from Dr. Kraft week before last, there is the impression that the writing co-leads will only need to write at most 11 pages, so there is no need for reassigned time. As a former two-term ACCJC commissioner and having served on 11 comprehensive team visits, I know that preparing for an accreditation site visit takes time. It is not just the writing. It is the preparation for the writing. Team leads must attend trainings. They must prepare and review evidence. All of this takes time. Expecting faculty to prepare for an accreditation comp visit without reassigned time shows only a continued lack of understanding of the work faculty are doing. Also, it conveys a devaluing of the faculty. Before the writing of the ICER begins, there are trainings, meetings, dialogues that must occur, and these take time. To assume that the writing colleagues will just write 1 or 2 pages is not accurate. In order to balance the workload of faculty and the accreditation timeline, the Academic Senate Executive Committee has decided to be the writing co-leads so as to not add any more work without reassigned time to an already frayed faculty. We also decided to add one more faculty and serve as co-writing leads. To be clear, this means that if this decision to not give reassigned time to the co-leads, the AS Executive Committee's work in preparing for the accreditation visit will be unwaged. We felt that it was the ethical alternative rather than increasing faculty workload and risking having an adverse impact on our students. The other concern that I have here is the manner in which this decision was made. The Academic Senate President nor the Faculty Association President were consulted in the decision-making process. I was not given the opportunity to address the assumptions that were made by the Superintendent President, nor was the issue of compensation taken to the Faculty Association. Instead, the Accreditation Steering Committee co-chair was told of the decision. The Accreditation Steering Committee co-chair is not authorized to discuss or consent to issues of compensation. I urge the BOT and Dr. Kraft to reconsider this decision. This concludes my report. I wish you all a happy and safe Thanksgiving holiday. Respectfully and in service, Dr. Eileen Tejada, President of the Academic Senate.
Thank you. Thank you. That was a great report. Administrative Confidential Senate report. Mr. Harris is not present. Is anybody presenting?
No, I'm here. So
Yes.
I am here. However, I must inform everybody that I have no report. We will have something for the next BOT, and not tonight. So please proceed.
Nice seeing you. Thank you for being here. 7.3, Associated Students of Napa Valley College report. Is USB with us? Catherine, did
She was here. It looks like she did not make it back to this portion of the meeting.
Okay, so we're moving right along with the agenda. 7.4, Classified Association. Valerie Moe
She is not present, however, her report is
It
posted.
is online. Thank you. 7.5, Faculty Association report. Christy?
I'm back.
You're back. Welcome back.
Okay. So I have my report, which is it's a mixed bag tonight. It's some good things, some bad things. So the good things, one of the things that's great is that we're currently going through the contract. Negotiations, as always, are ongoing. And we're really kind of zooming through the contract right now. We're just cleaning up some language, adding in some MOUs that have now become part of the contract. And I'm really pleased with the progress that we've made. My great news that I have to share with everyone tonight is, of course, that we were able to finally, after I've come to the board twice already now, finally, we have come to an agreement on part-time office hours. So I'm so happy about that. We have made an agreement for this, signed an MOU for this academic year to give every part-time faculty member 1 hour per semester for every unit that they teach, which is a start. And so I'm really happy about that. We're getting all the communication out to the part-time faculty so they can let their students know that they now have office hours available to them. And I'm just really encouraged with that. And I'm hoping that we can, if this pilot MOU works well, that we can continue that even after this academic year. So we'll be discussing that as we move forward and gather more evidence. So those are the good things. I did want to talk about some concerns as well. I wanted to echo Eileen's concerns about lack of compensation for the accreditation writing teams, a matter on which the union was not even consulted and the district seemed to decide unilaterally was not worth paying for. Writing these reports is within our expertise, but it's not within our assigned job duties. This is on top of the fact that our workload has been impacted more than ever. We aren't on vacation just because we aren't on campus. We aren't working less than we were before the pandemic. We're trying to do our jobs and do our best to bring comparable quality to our students in a medium that's largely unfamiliar to everyone. And that brings me to our other difficulty, which is our email system. I am not sure if you understand the frustration and panic that goes through faculty and students when our email system is not functioning. Students can't ask questions about assignments. Faculty can't adequately communicate their expectations. Reminders aren't sent out. Meetings are missed. Deadlines are missed. The quality of our classes is affected. The quality of student experience is affected. Evaluations are affected. The quality of everything goes down. In this time of pandemic dictated online education, our access to our email is more important than it ever has been. And additionally, in some cases, our safety is compromised. We have a welding department that lost communication for most of all last week. If there was some sort of accident or emergency and their ability to communicate with all necessary parties was compromised, this impacts our students and it impacts the responsibility of our faculty members. This cannot keep happening. It brings down our morale. It brings down the quality of our education. There is really no excuse for it, but every time it happens, and it seems to be happening more and more, all we get are excuses. This needs to be fixed because we need to have reliable communication at Napa Valley College. And that is my report.
Thank you. Thank you. On the last portion of your report, I think that during closed session, if I may, we gave some direction to Dr. Kraft, so.
Thank you.
And we care and we understand. And I think I speak for the board. We definitely understand that it's not pretty and it's not fun. But thank you. 7.7, President and Cabinet reports.
Thank you. I'm going to call on Cabinet. I did want to, Robin, I see you out there.
So early.
Dr. Warnall is prepped up, and I think that we listed the trends in NVC performance. Maybe Catherine. This was a question that Trustee Baker talked about. It's a little bit of a follow-up, you all. It's not long, but Robin's prepared just to quickly go over a little more of the trend analysis on those issues that we had on the core indicators, and maybe we could start with that, Robin, if that's okay.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Thank you.
So based on Trustee Baker's request about trends for the core indicators report, which was presented last month, I went back and compiled data from the 7 years of core indicators report that we've had, and then I just generated some graphs to report the performance over the past 7 years, with alongside the institution set standards and stretch goals. And so those are reported, both the data points in terms of the table and the graph, and then the institution set standard and stretch goals for each metric are identified via the two horizontal lines that represent the ceiling and the floor for our performance. Just a couple of observations would be that in most cases the performance has fallen between the institution set standard and the stretch goal in each of the years, and I should say that these are the standards that were established just last year in 2019. So I think there was one case where we dipped below the ceiling, or sorry, the floor, but we that was early on in the core indicators report. I just wanted to note that as I reported last month, our successful course completion rate was the highest last year that it has been, at least in this 7-year period. And then, there are just annual fluctuations, just kind of the way data tends to work. But I did want to point out that both the degree and certificate recipients did decrease in 2019, 2020. And that is and some of it was a slight decrease, but that is likely in part due to the impact of the pandemic, in the sense that students took excused absences and might not have completed their degree or certificate requirements on time as a result of that. That is all I have for you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Robin. Let me follow on with just the VPs. And Bob, do you have anything for this section?
So just a couple of things, and first of all, I want to follow up on what both Dr. Tejada and Christy Iwamoto said about the email. And we actually have two technology issues that we're wrestling with right now. Email is one that we have solved, but we need to take steps to ensure that these types of issues don't happen again. And we have already lined up and had in place outside consultants to assist us with the move from what we currently have is an email server that we maintain here. Our intention has always been to move to a cloud email system using Office 365. That's what our students use, and in fact, our students did not lose email during the time period, but unfortunately, everybody that they needed to communicate with did lose email. So it was not a great success in that they could send an email, but it wasn't being received by their faculty member, and so we are moving forward immediately with making that move to having all email go through a cloud system through Office 365. And what that does, the problem or the issue that we had with email most recently is that our email server reached capacity. And when it reached capacity, it shut down. And when it shut down, that meant that all faculty and staff and administrators lost access to email. As that email was being, access was being restored, certain files got corrupted, which meant that they had to be restored from backup. And so it ultimately took a number of days for the system to come back up again. It's back up now, but we need to move off of that on-premises server and to the cloud, so that will expand our the size of the storage system that we have, expand access to email, and ensure that these types of issues are avoided in the future. So that's the short-term solution was to get everybody back up and running. The long-term solution is to move to a cloud system. The other issue that we've been encountering for at least a month now is some challenge with our single sign-on system. And the single sign-on system is what our students use to log into our campus, our campus services, most notably Canvas, which is our learning management system or our online class system. They've been having difficulty logging in. It's been timing out on them. And again, it's because we're at capacity on our current system with the increase in the number of people who are using or going through single sign-on. The solution to that is to also move to a cloud-based system, and we are lining up the resources to allow us to do that so that, again, we're not limited by the limits on the resources that we have here on campus. And it makes more sense. It's the way that it really is the way of the future, and it's where other institutions are going. Rather than continuing to buy more and more servers and build up a server farm here, which we need to maintain, it really makes more sense for us to buy or to lease cloud resources that will be expandable, instantly expandable, and allow us to better serve our population. So those are the two things that are happening in technology, and we'll be sending something out to all faculty and staff tomorrow to let them know of those steps that we're taking. There are two other things I just wanted to update you all on. One is that if you happen to be on campus, you may see some activity in the 1600 building, and that's the Napa County Office of Education is running a child care service here on campus. It started on Monday. They're serving 24 students right now. It could be expanded if the need or demand is there. This is separate and apart from what they're doing at the Child Development Center. This is actually for students in kindergarten through 5th grade, and it's a place for them to come. It's a place that will help facilitate their online lessons that they're going through, and meals are provided, and so it's a service to the community. Just started. They're currently using 5 classrooms in the 1600 building. It could expand to use of all 8 classrooms. And the reason it's the 1600 building is that the classrooms in the 1600 building are not really large enough for us to do in-person instruction for the college. It would be a limit if we did social distancing for our college students. We'd be limited to about 8 to 10 students per classroom. And so not really a space that we're currently using or would be planning to use for the spring semester. So it's a win-win for both us and NCOE. And then finally, just a little update on campus housing. We have made a choice of an operator who we'll be partnering with to operate the campus housing. And we're moving forward with finalization of the plans with a target to submit those plans to the Division of State Architect, or DSA, before the end of December. And so those are the updates I wanted to provide tonight.
Thank you, Bob. And thank you, Bob. Bob helped pull together, or led in pulling together, the leadership team from technology. And I'd like the board, but also constituents, to know that, that it's serious. We are addressing it as serious, and it is now moved to the top of the priority list in every week administratively. In terms of leadership, we have dozens of projects and deadlines issues. However, to faculty comments tonight and staff comments as well, we're addressing it. I don't know. Seriously is not even the right word. It is critical for us. So we're just all over it. Thank you, Bob. Oscar, are you ready to share some news out there?
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Actually, I've attached the list of the RSVPs for tomorrow's 15th annual high school non-breakfast. And it looks like from all accounts, this will be a record-breaking group of attendance. And I want to just give a bit of information as to who will be here, or at least who has made the reservation. We're going to have representatives from four counties: Napa, Solano, Sonoma, and Marin. We have representatives from 7 school districts: Fairfield, Sassoon, Napa County, Napa Unified, Salina, Calistoga, Ucatati, Runner Park, and Vallejo City. We also have 2 middle schools. But the big surprise of it all is that we have 35 high schools and adult schools who have made a commitment to attend. That's 35. That itself is a record. For first-time attendees from these high schools to this event, from Sonoma County is Casa Grande, Santa Rosa, El Molino, Maria Carrillo, Piner, Rancho Cotati, Windsor, Orchard View School for Sebastopol, and Technology High in Runner Park. First-time attendees from Solano County is Maine Prairie High in Dixon. And first time to attend this event from County of Marin is Tomales High. We also have 4 agencies, which includes our own Napa Learns and Migrant Education. So the 93 guests added to our 59 NVC staff and board members give us approximately 152 participants for tomorrow's event. I wanted to also thank Trustee Goff, as incoming trustee the Luna, and outgoing trustee Segura for their RSVPs. Thank you.
Thanks, Oscar. Again, an exciting time, and I'm really excited to see, these new schools coming in, how it's going to reflect, and we hope in terms of positive enrollment and just their success in being able to find classes and programs and curriculum that meet their needs. So very good job. Very excited about this.
Thank you.
Sarah Parker.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Yeah, I'm excited about tomorrow morning, and it's great timing because our spring schedule went live on Tuesday. So we can immediately follow up that breakfast with an encouragement for incoming students to take a look at what NVC has to offer and get excited about, subsequent years of attendance. I have 2 brief updates. One is about the spring semester. So a lot of care and thought, continued commitment by our program coordinators and deans went into spring semester, understanding that we have an ongoing need for a great deal of flexibility. So the schedule that is posted reflects that we have cautiously increased our in-person offerings in several lab and activity areas to best meet the pedagogical needs of those particular disciplines. Our spring schedule will be approximately 80% online, so still the vast majority of our courses online and about 20% in person. And we are following and adhering to all state and local guidance regarding our safety protocols and continually monitoring things that change and are prepared to adjust accordingly, as pandemic conditions continue to change. The second thing I wanted to share with you is that despite, the challenges of this semester and teaching online, and for many of our, for our faculty members, most of them working in a distance modality, there is still a lot of amazing forward progress on a variety of efforts that are occurring across campus aimed at increasing institutional improvements for students. So some of this work is occurring within what's called the Guided Pathways Framework. This is a a state initiative, and we have numerous groups working on various aspects of the student experience. And the idea of Guided Pathways Framework is it really provides a sort of a way of thinking about students from before they get to our campus, and then onboarding, entering the path of their choice, getting the supports they need to continue along that path, and then successfully completing that path based on their academic or career goals. On December 11th, Dr. Tejada and I have sent out an invitation to the campus, inviting the entire campus community, and would like to extend an invitation to you, Board of Trustees, as well, to join us for a kickoff discussion about meta majors. This is a way of thinking about clusters of programs. It's an organization for the campus into broad pathways that help students to more easily and efficiently navigate our campus within the context of their academic area of interest. So I wanted to just give you a heads up that that was happening and an invitation to join us for that kickoff event.
Exciting. Yeah, good stuff. And, of course, programs don't stop. So I think, Board, I would just draw your attention, and everyone else on the call, under this President's Report, thank you, Sarah. You're doing a good job stepping into a new world. And I'm very excited that the schedule is out and we're kind of ready to go. So thank you. Let's see. I want to make sure that Charo has an opportunity as well. If you have something, Charo.
Good evening, Board. In Human Resources and Training Development, we are gearing up to release our first certification program for our classified professionals who may need to update their skills, leverage where they're at, or perhaps seek a career as an administrative assistant. This will be a one-year program, and it will be similar to the trainings that some of our staff who were transitioning into new roles went through last year. We are hoping to bring a report a year from now, highlighting some of the graduates from the program and successes. We're continually working on our KEYS program, which is also a one-year program for our administrators. This program is geared to develop and highlight areas for development for our managers, directors, supervisors, and senior leadership as well. In this training, we're going to look at culture, we're going to look at equity and inclusivity, we're going to look at collective bargaining agreements, employee relations. It will cover every aspect of what it takes to be a manager. In addition to that, after a year, we do hope to bring some of the graduates from that group for a presentation and also share some successes. Thank you very much. You have a good evening.
Thank you, Charles. Sorry, you need to unmute there. And also Bob Harris, Academic and Confidential Senate, are strong supporters of this, and as well as Classified Senate. So it's exciting. This is a dream that we have been working on for at least the last several years, and it's coming to fruition. So very excited about it. Catherine Kittle, am I missing anything or anyone on my President's Report at this point?
I don't think so. I think you're good.
Okay, thank you so much. Then I will finish with that, Rosada, and we can move along.
Yes, thank you very much for all those wonderful reports. So we'll go to agenda item 8.1, approval of consent calendar.
Move to approve the consent.
Second. I'm sorry, who moved? Trustee Dodd?
Trustee Dodd. First motion.
So Trustee Dodd, motion to approve. Trustee Baker, second that motion. Trustee Baker.
Aye.
Trustee Dodd.
Aye.
Trustee Goff. Trustee Iverson.
Aye.
Trustee Rios.
Aye.
Trustee Maldini.
Aye.
And that's an aye for me as well. Student trustee Shaw?
Aye.
Thank you. So, off we go to item number 9. Academic affairs information, discussion, action. 9.1. Institutional learning outcomes, general education learning outcomes. Can we approve that? Are there any comments? Anybody would like to present on that, or?
I'll move approval.
Second.
Moved by trustee Baker, second by trustee Baldini. Are there any questions, discussion? Trustee Baker.
Aye.
Trustee Dodd.
Aye.
Trustee Goff.
Aye.
Trustee Iverson.
Aye.
Trustee Rios.
Aye.
Trustee Baldini.
Aye.
And student trustee Shaw.
Aye.
And that's an aye for me as well. 9.2, curriculum changes for fall of 2020. Is there any public comment on that? May I entertain a motion?
Move to approve.
Second. Trustee Iverson, second.
Moved approval by trustee Rios, second by trustee Iverson. Trustee Baker?
Aye.
Trustee Dodd?
Aye.
Trustee Goff?
Aye.
Trustee Iverson?
Aye.
Trustee Rios, I need to ask. Student trustee Shaw?
Aye.
And that's an aye for me as well. 9.3.
Baldini, aye.
Oh, I'm sorry, trustee Baldini. I
Just
thought.
making sure you're listening.
Thank you, trustee Baldini. So, yeah.
Aye.
No, it's unanimous. Thank you. 9.3, 2021-22 academic calendar. Is there public?
Move approval.
Thank you, trustee Baldini. Can I have a second?
Trustee Iverson, second.
I did have a quick question just
I
about
had a quick question too.
there was in the board docs, it said that there had been some discussion with NVUSD and other groups to make certain everything coincided. I know that NVUSD has really pushed their calendar into June to accommodate potential days that for closures related to smoke and fires and other whatever 21 tries to send us. So I just wondered if that was something that had been considered at all when looking at our own calendar.
Is what Dr. Sarah Parker, would you be able to address that, or can somebody speak to that?
Sure. No, that isn't. We hadn't considered ahead of time adding additional days to the end of the calendar on the expectation that things might be, delayed for some reason. But we do have a cushion already built into the calendar that you see in terms of student contact hours.
Trustee Dodd?
Yeah, no, I had a similar question, and then was just talking about in terms of the calendar could be adjusted to align with NVUSD's schedule. So this isn't technically final. There could be some small nuances here, small changes.
My understanding is that in the past that, for example, the spring break week has been modified if in order to align with NVUSD.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. So, go down my list. Trustee Baker?
Aye.
Trustee Dodd?
Aye.
Trustee Goff,
Aye.
Trustee Anderson,
Aye.
Trustee Rios,
Aye.
Trustee Baldini,
Aye.
Student Trustee Shaw,
Aye.
and that's an aye for me as well. And on to agenda item 9.4, Memorandum of Understanding between the Institute for Higher Education Policy and Napa Valley College. Is there any public comment on that? May I have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved approval by Trustee Rios, second by Trustee Baker.
May I ask some questions, please? Just
Please.
small.
No, go ahead.
There's some buzzwords in here. It's just killing me, and I didn't know what I'm claiming my ignorance here. Degree reclamation, reverse transfer, adult re-engagement.
I'd love to see all three of these if you'd like me to.
I would love it. I think the whole board, unless I'm sure everyone's an expert except for me.
No,
but,
those are good questions.
Yeah, I prepared just a brief paragraph about the project, so I can do that first, but then also make sure to hit on those three terms.
Totally. Thank you.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's an equity-focused strategy that uses data to confer degrees to students who have earned sufficient credits through degree audits to complete their degree. So degree reclamation, for example, would mean that a student perhaps actually did fulfill the requirements for a degree, but that wasn't their declared major and they never filled out the paperwork for that other degree that they earned along the way. So we can do an audit of their credits, find out that a student actually earned a degree that they may not have even been aware that they were eligible for, contact them and allow them to receive an AA degree, which is really exciting. Reverse transfer is it's not a new idea, but it's a little bit new to the California community colleges. It's a process that requires engaging with our four-year partners, which is increasingly something that we're able to do through some improved data sharing agreements. If a student was here at NVC, got really close to completing a degree, ended up transferring to a four-year school, which they can do if they complete their gen ed pattern, but maybe never applied for a degree here. Let's say that they didn't complete at that four-year school, but they ended up fulfilling the credits that would then have allowed them to complete that degree here. Again, that's an opportunity that we can take advantage of to give students something that they rightfully earned that we know will make a big difference in their earning power and ability to move forward in their career. And then the last one, the re-engagement strategy. This is just the idea of reaching back out to those students that maybe didn't complete what they said that they were here to fulfill in the first place, and trying to re-engage with them because we still consider them our students and we want to support them in fulfilling their either prior goals or current and future goals.
Great. That's really cool. And so how did we get hooked up with IHEP? Is that I just want to sound like I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, Dr. Kraft received an email from a colleague. He forwarded it on to cabinet, and I think a lot of us read about the recommendation from another college that had participated in this program and thought, wow, this was really aligned with what we're interested in doing here. So we pursued applying, heard back right away, and already have a team here on campus who is very enthusiastic about getting involved in using the tools. They're really just providing us with tools and that will allow us to dive into our own data and then decide what it is we want to do with what we find.
Really neat. Thank you so much.
How far back can you go?
Is there a statute of limitations?
That's a great question. I mean, some of these are things that we have to make internal local decisions about because it's also a question of capacity. So we met with a coach who shared that at their school they had decided to go back 5 years, and she recommended that was a good starting point.
So not 1977.
Kyle doesn't go back that far.
No, but I go back further than 5 years though. Thank you.
Thank you. That was wonderful, informative discussion, and thank you for doing that. I think I have a student for you, so that's good. It works out for him. So we have a move and a second, and Trustee Baker.
Aye.
Trustee Dodd.
Aye.
Trustee Goff. Aye. Trustee Iverson.
Aye.
Trustee Rios.
Aye.
Trustee Baldini.
Aye.
Trustee Student Shaw.
Aye.
And that's an aye for me as well. And I need to excuse myself for about 10 minutes. Trustee Baldini, is it possible for you to take over the agenda?
Yes, we can.
I'll be back shortly. Thank you.
All right. Moving to item 10, administrative services, and these are information discussion and action items. 10.1, approval of proposal and contract from TLCD Architecture of Renovation and Modernization of Building 3100. So this is an action item.
I've got a question on it after you get a motion in a second.
Move to approve.
Second.
So it's moved by Trustee Rios and seconded by
Trustee Baker.
Trustee Baker. Your
So
question, sir.
Just how do we go out and finding the contractors without? Sorry, that's weird. The companies that'll come in and do the work, how do we go out for bid for that? Just curious.
So so the contract with the architect has been pending for, since I think 2013 when we first started working on this project to submit the initial project proposal to the state. Just as a reminder, this is a project that is being funded 50% by the state of California and then 50% by our local capital improvement funds. Once we get through this initial design phase, it would be at that point that we'd be going out for bid for the construction itself. And so this design phase will take probably most of this school year, this academic year. We would expect to have plans that we would then submit to DSA. So we're a few steps away from hiring a contractor or a construction company, but that would be a bid process to determine who that construction company will be.
Would we, just last follow-up question, would we have any control or say in using a local architect or a local contractor in a situation like this?
So we have first of all, this is, the TLCD is located in Santa Rosa. And so they are a fairly local architect. The reason that we're going with TLCD on this project is that they were the master architect when this started for the college, and in fact are still identified as the master architect. And because this is a state-funded project, we started this project with that initial project proposal and final project proposal submission to the state. That's part of our 5-year capital construction plan that we give to the state on an annual basis. So TLCD has been the architect for this particular project all throughout this process. So we didn't go out for an RFP or any bids for the architect because they had in effect already been selected for this. No other selection has taken place, however, at this point. So in terms of contractors, we would have control over the bid process and the selection of a contractor for this project.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Parker? So we have a motion by Trustee Rios and a second by Trustee Baker. I will go through the roll call. Trustee Rios, how do you vote?
Aye.
Trustee Goff?
Aye.
Trustee Baker?
Aye.
Trustee Iverson?
Aye.
Trustee Scholl?
Aye.
Trustee Segura is
I'm here,
absent?
yes. No, yes.
Oh, she is back.
Yes, aye.
Aye. And
Trustee Dottie says aye too.
Trustee
Aye,
Dodd
I'm listening.
and Trustee Baldini is an aye. I'll turn the gavel back to our Madam Chair. You're ready to take over?
Yes. Thank you very much, Trustee Baldini.
That was a smooth transition of power, so we'll let that be a lesson. Yes.
Hey, I read all the votes and all of them were ayes, so there's no recount there.
Well done.
So 10.2, resolution number 2015 exempting the NVC campus student housing project from local zoning and land use ordinance under Government Code Section 53094. It is also an action item.
I think there's a public comment on this, is there not?
There is, yes. And I shall go to it right now. And I will read the letter. Please bear with me. Dated November 12th, 2020. It comes from the City of Napa Community Development. Ms. Rosaura Segura, Chair, Napa Valley College Board of Trustees. 22 blah, blah, blah. Regarding comments on the Napa Valley College Student Housing Project zoning exemption. Dear Ms. Segura, City of Napa's staff has been working with Napa Valley College's facility services staff on review of the proposed campus housing project. City staff has expressed support for the development of housing at the college, as it is clear that this will be beneficial to NVC students and the greater community in many ways, particularly allowing future campus housing residents to walk or bike to class, increasing access to higher education by offering lower cost housing, and providing new housing close to stores and services on the northwest corner of West Aimola Avenue and Sosco Avenue, Napa Vallejo Highway. However, there is one key remaining issue that has not been addressed to date, and that is how future residents of the campus housing will access nearby shopping and services without heavily relying on use of individual vehicles. Unless it is convenient and safe for future campus housing residents to walk or bike to the South Century Center, South Napa Marketplace shopping centers, it is highly likely that they will drive, adding vehicle trips to an already congested part of Napa and detracting from quality of life for the future residents. The initial study, Mitigated Negative Declaration, prepared for the campus housing project by NVC, identifies the need for a future direct connection from the housing to West Aimola and states that it will be constructed later by others. Is it possible that future housing residents would use the Vine Trail to walk or bike to nearby shopping? City staff expressed concern that the path involves an approximately 2.5 mile round trip distance calculated from the new housing to the front door of Rayleigh's. Alternatively, future residents desiring a shorter route would need to cross the Napa Valley Highway, SR 221, at Magnolia Drive to travel north on the existing sidewalks on the east side of the highway, cross West Aimola Avenue distance for approximately 1.25 miles. The future path connection from the new campus housing to West Aimola Avenue would provide a more direct and shorter path that would involve crossing West Taimola Avenue, SR 121, once to access the shopping. City staff had an initial meeting with the NVC team to discuss this issue. We understand that the college believes that sidewalks and bike lanes will be added to the south side of West Taimola Avenue between Gasser Drive and Soscol Avenue in the future, consistent with the Napa Valley Transportation Authority's Avenue Corridor Complete Street Plan, and that on-side path between with the new campus housing and West Taimola Avenue will also be constructed in the future. However, it is the city's understanding that there is no specific funding identified for all of these improvements, nor is there a schedule of completion on the improvements. Further, since introduction of campus housing appears to create the greatest need for the on-site connection with West Taimola Avenue, it seems important that it be implemented as part of the housing project. City Hall reached out to NVC staff to have a subsequent discussion about these important considerations and did not receive a response until we received a letter dated November 6, 2020 and received November 10th, 2020, informing us that the board would consider zoning exemption under the Government Code Section 53094. If the board proceeds with this action, we urge you to reconsider the proposed deferral of the direct pedestrian connection to an unspecified future time and to direct the design team to develop options for implementation prior to occupancy of the housing. Sincerely, Vin Smith, Community Development Director, City of Napa. Copy to Steve Potter, City Manager. Any comments on that, please? So is there any other public comment on 10.2?
I'm not seeing any. Trustee Segura.
Thank you very much. So it is an action
I'd like
item.
to make a comment.
Oh, please.
Move approval.
Yeah. I'd like to make a comment. I just want to bring up that I don't think anything was said in that letter that we as the board haven't brought up and haven't tried to incorporate. And I think we need to acknowledge that there are some good points in there, although there's no solution that we can come up with at this time. So I'd really like to, acknowledge that the city of Napa has a point that we've already kind of tried to address, but we're unable to really address it at this point. And then I'll back up Michael and say, yeah, let's move to approve.
Thank you, Trustee Goff. So we have, yes, is there any more discussion?
I just wanted to comment and thank Trustee Goff on bringing that up because I know that myself and other trustees have brought that up in the discussion of housing and the importance of some of the issues that the city has raised.
And we thought about a tunnel. We can't do a bridge, dig a tunnel under Ebola.
Thank you, Trustee Iverson. So there's a motion on the floor by for approval by Trustee Baldini. There's a second by Trustee Goff. Dr. Parker, Bob Parker, do you have any comments or additions of discussion to this 10 point?
We actually have our attorney, Aaron Stagg, with us tonight, who perhaps can say a few words about what this resolution means to the project. And so, Aaron, I think you're still out there. Are you still out there?
I am, and I have turned on my screen and unmuted. So good evening, trustees. I will be brief, but happy to answer questions if they come up. This determination by the board that the project is eligible for an exemption under this specific government code, this does not amount to finalizing the CEQA process. I heard the concerns that the city raised, and they referenced that particular document, the initial study, as well as the mitigated negative declaration, nor does this exemption constitute an approval of the project. This is simply determining that this project, as it has been defined, that it's going to be for students, that it's going to be DSA approved, which puts it subject to a whole host of other regulations outside of local regulations, is eligible for this zoning exemption. So it is essentially a determination that this qualifies, but moving forward, there will still be the CEQA process. There will still be project approval. This is simply a finding that the project is for educational purposes and will be subject to these other state requirements.
Thank you. Thank you for clarification. So we'll go through our voting process, and I will go through my list. Trustee Baker.
Aye.
Trustee Dodd.
Aye.
Trustee Goff.
Aye.
Trustee Iverson.
Aye.
Trustee Rios.
Aye.
Trustee Baldini.
Aye.
Student Trustee Shaw.
Aye.
And that's an aye for me as well. Thank you. Item 11, Human Resources Information Discussion Action Items. 11.2, Napa Valley Community College District initiated a proposal for negotiations with the Napa Valley College Union of Classified Professionals for the contract period beginning July 1st, 2021. This is for information only. Another information item, 11.2, Napa Valley College Union of Classified Professionals initial proposal for reopeners. Again, that's for information. So we move to agenda item 12. There's information, discussion, action items. 12.1, approval of bid and prospectus between David R. Trujillo and Associates and Napa Valley College. Now, this is an action item. Mr. Deado, do you have anything to add on to this?
No, no, thank you. Other than as I mentioned in the information for this board meeting, this will be our second attempt at a 5-year HSI STEM grant. The first one being, as I mentioned, back in 2012, at 2011, and so we were successful with the application. I am very confident that the group that we have considered for writing this second grant is exceptional. Just experience based on what you see there with the resumes tells us that this group is very good, and we are very hopeful and very optimistic that this grant will be awarded.
Thank you. Is it the same people that wrote the previous grant that got us $3 million?
No, that was another group. This is a very group. Actually, this group, why I have a great amount of faith in them is that this group takes part in an annual conference called ASI, which is Association of Hispanic Serving Institutions, where they train and they provide workshops and seminars on how to write the grants, but also what are the new details of grants that are forthcoming. So these folks are, again, I don't want to say it's 100% guarantee, but I'm very confident that it will be a guarantee funding for us.
Thank you. Any more questions for VP Deado? May I entertain a motion, please?
I will move. Go ahead, Trustee Baker.
Gotcha.
I'll move for approval and just want to thank Oster for pursuing it again. And I fully support STEM and everything that it does for our students. It's a great program.
Thank you.
Do I hear a second?
I could be second.
Thank you, Trustee Baker. Moved by Trustee Iverson, second by Trustee Baker. Trustee Baker.
Aye.
Trustee Dodd.
Aye.
Trustee Goff.
Aye.
Trustee Iverson.
Aye.
Trustee Rios.
Aye.
Trustee Baldini.
Aye.
Student Trustee Shaw.
Aye.
And that's an aye for me as well. Good work, VP De Aro.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Go get 'em.
Madam Chair?
Yes. Yes.
Does item number 11 actually have to be presented? Even though it's informational? Or the,
We can most certainly can.
sorry, is Chadro out there? Do the sunshining need to be actually presented?
Well, I am more than happy to discuss it. The reason why this is being brought tonight is to allow you, honorable trustees, and the public to be aware of what we are about to bargain on each side. And 11.1 is the district's proposal and what we will be going to the table and working, collaborating with our classified professionals on. 11.2 is the association's sunshine proposals. I would like to make note the first item on their sunshine proposal referring to catastrophic leave has already been presented to the board for public response as well as your acceptance. These items will return next month for you to accept the district's proposal, approve the district proposal and accept the Union of Classified Professionals proposal. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Rios, and thank you, Charo, for that information. So, agenda item 13. General information, discussion, action items, board policy review and adoption. And this is the one that we discussed in the past, and so.
Move approval.
Second, Trustee Dodd.
Moved approval by Trustee Rios, a second by Trustee Dodd. Trustee Baker.
Aye.
Trustee Dodd.
Aye.
Trustee Goff.
Aye.
Trustee Iverson.
Aye.
Trustee Rios.
Aye.
Trustee Baldini.
Aye.
Student Trustee Shaw.
Aye.
And that's an aye for me as well. And so 15, board reports. Do we have any reports? Das, Jennifer? Trustee Baker?
No, we have not met, but our next meeting is right before the next board meeting, so on the 8th of December.
Thank you. BWT, Trustee Baldini?
Yes, we did meet on Wednesday the 4th. I don't have the minutes in front of me, but we did discuss certainly the finances. They look good. The crop down significantly this year because of replantings and as well as the COVID and the difficulty of harvest. It appears down about 30%. And there was some conversation about the possibility of an endowed chair or pushing that forward, as well as an oversight in the management the necessary time the faculty takes in harvest and vineyard and so on and so forth. So when I have the minutes, I'll report those out. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Legislative Affairs, Trustee Goff.
Yes, Legislative Affairs didn't meet, but will reconvene in the new year. And our wonderful information officer, Holly Dawson, wanted me to let you know that the Chancellor's Office has released the 2021 to 2022 system budget and legislative request. And Napa Valley College has signed on to join the coalition, which is kind of exciting. The Chancellor's Office has also released an overview of 2020 chaptered legislation, which provides a brief overview of new laws passed that relates to California community colleges. And again, Ms. Dawson will email copies of both of these documents to everyone on the board for review. And that's all we have.
Thank you. Audit and Finance.
We have not met. I believe we are meeting either next month or early January to do audit stuff.
Yes, we would need to schedule a meeting in early January prior to the January board meeting where the audit will be presented.
Thank you. Real Property. Trustee Reed.
Yeah, we have not met. We don't have a report. Thank you.
McPherson Distinguished Teaching Award. Trustee Goff.
No word on that, but I'm sure Dr. Sarah Parker and I will address that in the new year. Thank you.
Thank you. And NVC Foundation Board. Trustee Iverson.
Lots of meetings. I'm on the Wine Education Committee or Wine Education Center Committee, and I don't want to steal our executive director's thunder, but Jessica will be coming back to do a report for the board of all the good things that have been happening with the foundation and a lot of scholarships. So good stuff coming your way. Next month, we will bring a really good report for you.
Thank you. 15.2, future agenda item requests. Does anybody have any? I guess not. And if you did, your time is up. So we go to 15.3. Trustee and board chair reports. Trustee Baker.
Nothing really exciting to report, although I did have a conversation with a young lady earlier this week, and we were just talking about all the stuff going on in the world, and she had just happened to mention that she had taken a class at Napa Valley College a couple years ago from Dr. Janet Stickman, and just described it as life-changing. And so I wanted to pass that along because it was very, very gratifying to hear.
Awesome. Thank you. Trustee Dodd?
Nothing to report.
Trustee Goff?
I just had a couple of things. Number one, I want to once again thank Holly Dawson for all of her work. I don't think we see what she does, but man, she keeps it all together. So I want to really thank her just for helping me, especially. I also want to say I'm very excited about attending the high school breakfast. Oscar, you're putting on a really great event. Thank you so much for doing that outreach every year and building that event. Even though it's online this year, I'm sure it's going to be very worthwhile. So the more outreach we do to our high schools in our community, the better. So I just wanted to thank you again for the invitation. I'm looking forward to attending.
Thank you.
Trustee Iverson?
I just want to thank Cabinet and especially a big shout out to Mr. Parker for addressing the technology issues and the NCOE and childcare and what we're doing right now with that program. And again, just thank the district and everyone on the channel right now for just sticking with it during the pandemic and everything else that's been thrown our way for 2020. So thank you.
Trustee Rios?
No report.
Trustee Baldini?
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to thank Dr. Kraft for his leadership and thank you, Madam Chair, for your leadership over this past year. I will certainly miss working with you, and I'll toast you this evening. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Student Trustee William Shaw?
ASNVC is currently being trained. We just got communication between all of our members established. We're using an app called Band. So that kind of puts us all in a chat room that we can communicate with each other. Other than that, I have nothing else to report, but I would kind of like to circle back onto our struggles with Canvas, as I have talked to many students who have struggled with that because we have to reload the page about 4 or 5 times before we can get to sign on. And as that's many students' only way to access their education, I feel as if it should be of the highest degree of importance.
Thank you. Thank you. And I think I have a small report. As you all know, I was not elected for the city council, but needless to say, it was a very learning experience. Yeah, St. Helena is beautiful. I love it. And it's, yeah, politically aware. But anyway, the next steps for me, definitely life-changing. There's some chapters that I need to close, but I do kind of want to be like Marianne Mancuso when I grow up. You know, like free and happy and oh yeah. That particular island looks better every time, but you know, there's things that I need to close here. If they ever, I have 2 businesses, I have 4 kids, and so it's going to be a while before I make it there, but I will make it there at least 2 times a year. And who knows what's in store for the next 2 years. You know, there will be 2 more seats available at the city council in 2022, and they go fast quickly, but I get homesick, Sicily. So I thank you all for everything. Faculty, administrators, students. I was on the learning side. It was a wonderful ride, an unforgettable ride. And see you in December. I'll be here.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
I'll jump in really fast, Rosada, and say that was emotionally and wonderful. And we have an agenda item in December to thank you properly and go over your many contributions. So you have been a wonderful chair. And yes, the islands do look pretty extraordinary.
Yes.
I'd also just take this opportunity to kind of congratulate all of the county and city Napa elected officials, or those who will take office. And the college stands ready. We'll reach out to them. I will meet with them individually to share how the college is doing, what we can do together, and to bridge the gap from the community to our college stakeholders, along with you all. And with that, I expect you still, Rosada, to be a significant and very vocal player in St. Helena.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. Forward. Yes.
Thank you.
And you are getting a wonderful new trustee. Inez will be good for the board, and you will enjoy working with her a lot. And on that note, I think we're adjourned unless we want to go back to closed session.